So this is what we've been waiting for, man. It looks like the stranded astronauts are finally gonna return home. I'm here for this, bro. I'm here. Hurt shoulder and all, man. Listen, oh, bro, I think I got a pinched nerve or something up here in this area or somewhere that's causing this shoulder pain, man. But nonetheless, I'm here. So, you know how this goes. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
We are targeting undocking today at 10:05 p.m. Pacific, just a few minutes here from now. There will be an undock command that is sent first. That is expected at 10 p.m. Pacific time, and then it'll take a few minutes for us to actually see the physical separation and everything. But we are getting views right now of Dragon Freedom. What you see on that black portion of your screen there is some of the solar rays that help collect power for the spacecraft. That will remain intact during the phasing, which is about 17 hours for this particular flight. But before splashdown tomorrow afternoon, which we are targeting at 2:57 p.m. Pacific, that portion of Dragon will actually be jettisoned. So it'll just be the white portion that we'll see splashdown. But we're not quite there yet. First, we need to have the spacecraft undock. So again, targeting undock at 10:05 p.m. Pacific time this evening.
That's absolutely right, Sandra. So right now what we're doing on board Dragon is preparing for that undocking sequence to be commanded. Undocking from the space station basically involves separating the umbilicals and those attachment hooks that we use to dock Dragon to the space station. So we're effectively doing what we did during the docking procedure here, but in reverse. All of that in preparation for splashdown tomorrow.
Freedom, SpaceX on the Big Loop, undock sequence commanded.
And right on schedule, we've got confirmation of that undocking sequence command.
Freedom copies.
I hope they show Butch and Sonny in there during this video, bro. Because if you flash the camera to me and I'm on my way home, bro, I would have the biggest Kool-Aid smile I could ever put on for y'all.
Here in Houston in Mission Control, we are now monitoring the demating of the umbilical. This is the mechanism that provided electrical power to the Dragon Freedom during the time it was docked to the zenith or space-facing port of the Harmony module. Originally, Freedom docked at the forward port of Harmony and then back on November 3rd with Williams, Wilmore, Hague, and Gorbanoff on board. Umbilical demate reported to be complete. As we stand by for the initiation of the opening of the hooks, 2 gangs of hooks, 12 hooks in all, holding Dragon to the docking port on the zenith side of Harmony. Again, Harmony was the port of call for Freedom initially when it arrived back in September. The forward port itself, it experienced a relocation maneuver with Hague, Gorbanoff, Williams, and Wilmore on board back on November 3rd to move from the forward port to the zenith port, a short spin around the block to reposition that spacecraft where it has been mated and docked to the International Space Station since last November. 3.5 minutes away from physical separation.
Yeah, I get it. I know all the naysayers is going to be like, okay, why is it just like a perfectly HD background in black? That's all you see. You don't see nothing else back there. It's going to be so many naysayers, bro. I can already see it coming.
Once the physical separation occurs between Dragon and the docking port on Harmony, it will begin to move above the station at a very slow rate of about 1/10 of a meter per second. Then we'll move behind the station. A series of departure burns will then put it on a trajectory to carry it below the station and on its way to a safe distance away from the International Space Station for its deorbit burn that will occur at 4:11 p.m. Central Time, 5:11 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday afternoon to begin the final leg of the ride home for Williams, Wilmore, Hague, and Gorbanoff. 2.5 minutes to go until physical separation. All systems reported to be in great shape. The latest weather forecast off the coast of Florida at the splashdown sites indicates pristine weather for the arrival of the Crew 9 crew on Tuesday afternoon.
That's what we was worried about, the weather. They kept saying, you know what I mean? We pushing for the same type of weather they had to go get them. We need that coming back. So I hope everybody was doing a no rain dance, because that's what I was doing. And I ain't showing y'all what it was.
And nominal.
The first gang of hooks has opened, standing by for the second. Springs on both sides of the docking interface will push off against one another to initiate that opening rate for Dragon. "90 seconds till physical separation. Heading into the home stretch for Williams and Wilmore, the beginning of the end for a 9.5-month mission in space."
Like, what would be the first thing y'all would do as soon as you got home? The first thing you would do?
The interface between Dragon and the International Docking Adapter no longer sealed. The International Space Station and Dragon flying from southwest to northeast across the Pacific Ocean at an altitude of 261 statute miles.
All hooks open.
All hooks are open. And undocking confirmed. Freedom is free of its moorings. Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore begin their belated trip home.
Separation confirmed.
Undocking occurring right on time at 12:05 a.m. Central Time, 1:05 a.m. Eastern Time. Good motion, good stability on Dragon as it backs away.
Freedom, SpaceX on the big loop, depart burn 0 nominal.
Good opening rate reported by the visiting vehicle officer. Dragon's attitude control system functioning as advertised.
Give us the other camera angle. We want to see their face. Come on now. Like, who chose this camera angle? Camera guy?
Some freedom on the big loop. On behalf of Crew 9, I'd like to say it was a privilege to call station home, to live and work and be a part of a mission and a team that spans the globe, working together in cooperation for the benefit of humanity. To our colleagues and dear friends who remain on the station, Alex and Baker, Todd, Kirill, we know the station's in great hands. We're excited to see what you guys are going to accomplish and we'll be waiting for you. Crew 9's going home.
Now, when they get back, they got to do like a little quarantine period, right? Correct? They don't just get back, hop off the craft, and then go straight home. Now their bodies got to be checked and everything like that to make sure they're good before they're released, right? I'm thinking so. Still, put me some food, a steak, something in my little quarantine chamber. Like I want food. Give me a 10-piece lemon pepper. I need everything, bro. Brisket, everything.
Houston Station on the Big Loop, Step 2, ISS thrusters are verified enabled. To Crew 9, safe journey home. It's been the honor of a lifetime to cross your path up here on Space Station. Your service has been very much appreciated, and we'll miss you, but have a great journey home.
And this is back. I wish we could spend more time with you guys, but many people who love you and whom you love are waiting for you. So safe travel, Godspeed.
And for crew arrival, we ring a bell in Navy tradition, and for Crew 9, I did a baritone salute as you undocked. Love you guys.
So an exchange of poignant words between the Dragon commander, Nick Hague, as well as the Crew 10 crew, the newly arrived Crew 10 crew members, Anne McLean, Takoya Onishi, and Don Pettit, offering their best wishes and Godspeed for a safe return to Earth on Tuesday afternoon for the quartet aboard the Dragon Freedom.
Listen, man. I know they gotta be hype, bro. But so let me get this straight. So there was people that stayed there after they left on the International Space Station? Ain't no way I'm letting y'all leave me after they just spent 9 months there. No, I'm going too. Make some room. Make some room. Make some room. Hey, we all family. Scooch in tight. Tragic, sad, heartbreaking, man. My prayers go to those families, bro. That's just. And then I'm looking at the door, and I'm like, they couldn't make it out. That's all I could just think of, looking at that door and seeing those flames burn behind it. They couldn't get out. They couldn't get out, man. And that's so tragic.
Harvard says tuition will be free for families making $200,000 a year or less. It's the latest elite school to expand financial aid after the Supreme Court banned the use of racial preferences in college admissions. Changes go into effect for the 2025-2026 academic year. Harvard says tuition.
Man, that's how all schools should be, really. Technically, if you think about it, schools should be free. Who gonna benefit from all the knowledge that we receive in school? The businesses, the wealthy, who we go work for, all of that. They're gonna benefit. School should be free. But this is a step in the right direction, though. At least. Other schools should be doing the same thing, man.
This is what the cells look like. They're all the same.
In Ohio's Butler County Jail, Sheriff Richard Jones is eager to fill these cells.
Got a bed over here, little cabinet, sink.
Happy to provide a resource now that the Department of Homeland Security says its immigration detention centers are at capacity after ICE arrested 32,809 individuals since President Trump's inauguration.
Well, they have no jail space.
So they can't do mass deportations without sheriffs like you.
They need us, and we are willing to help. I shook hands with President Trump.
Right after Trump won the election in November, Jones contacted ICE and renegotiated a contract his jail had with the agency during the first Trump administration. Butler County now charges ICE for holding detainees, renting out its beds for a price per head, potentially bringing the county millions of dollars a year.
300 beds.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you charging?
What that sound like to y'all? And y'all be saying some of this stuff ain't about money. Not only did he renegotiate the contract, he let y'all know how much they bringing in. Yeah. Yeah. This is a business. Understand that. This is a business.
You charging?
As much as I can get. We're charging $68 a day, and that pays for my employees, pays for what they need.
Tack on another $36 per hour for transportation.
Is it about the money?
No, it's about doing the right thing. If you look at what these people, the crimes that they have committed since they've been here, what's it worth for somebody that's been murdered or somebody that's been raped?
That's part of it. Don't get me wrong. The ultimate goal, but to sit there and say it ain't about the money, then you wouldn't have renegotiated that contract. Like, what do you... Yeah, okay. Oh, okay.
So says he accidentally missed a court appointment that led to a deportation order in 2006. For years, his family sought to keep him in the U.S., but in 2016, he was convicted of a crime following a car collision. In 2018, ICE brought him to Sheriff Jones's jail in Butler County. He now lives in the Ivory Coast, separated from his daughter, a U.S. citizen.
Butler County, I'm still going through some trauma from Butler County.
He alleges staff at the jail beat another detainee until blood surrounded his cell. What are you worried could happen to other people like you there?
Somebody's going to put hands on them. They will be beat up.
In a lawsuit filed in 2020 and still pending, other detainees shared experiences similar to So's. The sheriff's office denies all allegations, saying our staff are trained professionals and would not beat anyone. Jones has been reelected in this community 6 times, and for most of those years has had this sign right in front of his jail.
That's the legal designation. Illegal aliens. That's where they're at. So now...
Right, but it's not an amusement park. Is it dehumanizing to have this here for people to just gawk and stare?
I don't see anybody gawking.
Back in the migrant detention business, he's confident his Ohio community is with him.
This is what the cells look.
Yeah. Like I said, I get what they're doing. And I understand when you're going after some of the harshest criminals, what you're trying to do. But to sit there and blatantly be like, and expect us to believe that it ain't about that almighty dollar, then You're asking bunch of us who already don't trust the government to trust the government. And they've given us way too many reasons not to trust them.
So what exactly is a recession, and are we in one right now?
There's going to be no recession in America. Well, look, I think you never can predict the future.
Well, the stock market has not been having a good time in recent weeks as President Trump pursues this on and off again tariff policy. And the president has not really said for sure whether or not all of this is going to lead to an economic slump.
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition.
I think there will be a recession. I don't see it at all. I think this country is going to boom.
So what is a recession? Well, some define it as 2 back-to-back quarters of negative growth as measured by GDP, or gross domestic product. But there's actually an official designation for a recession, and it comes from this group called the National Bureau of Economic Research, and they look at a wide array of different types of indicators to assess if we have entered a recession. Things like income, production, job numbers, retail sales. And they have not declared that we are in one right now, although it can take them some time to figure that out. But even when you look at the current statistics, one example being unemployment, it doesn't look like a recession. We're at multi-decade lows at 4.1% for unemployment. But still, the odds for a recession are rising. There are these research firms that are saying the tariff talk is increasing the likelihood of some sort of economic downturn. All of this underscores these concerns that the Trump administration is willing to take this short-term hit to the economy, which could be a big one, for the sake of this hope of bringing back American manufacturing, and we'll have to see how it all pans out. So what exactly is...
I don't think we'll know, and a lot of times they normally say you don't know you're in a recession until you're coming out of it. But I don't think we'll really feel it until later on in the year, when some of this stuff starts really taking effect and we really feel it. At that point, we'll be able to hear those recession talks. But right now, I think it's still early. A lot of things haven't really set in yet. So give it time and yeah, we'll know. But like I said, it could possibly be when we're coming out of it that we knew we were in it.
Let's get right to that breaking news. A San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy killed in a violent crash during a pursuit in Victorville.
The patrol car slamming into a pole. The passenger in another vehicle was injured. Eyewitness News reporter Ashley Mackey live at the scene right now with the late breaking details. Ashley.
Mark, Colleen, just a little while ago, we saw that law enforcement procession as sheriff's deputies escorted the deputy's body to the coroner's office. Multiple different agencies participated. As you can see, this is still an active scene here at the intersection of Seneca Road and Elevado Road here in Victorville. It was at around 11 a.m. this morning. The sheriff's department tells us a deputy with the Victorville City Station was en route to a stolen vehicle call, and while heading in pursuit of that vehicle, the deputy crashed into a separate vehicle, then into a light pole. The deputy sustained critical injuries and died here at the scene. The patrol was split in half due to the force of the crash. The other vehicle involved, a black Toyota Camry, had one occupant, a young woman in her 20s. She sustained injuries and was transported to a nearby hospital. Her father tells me she is alert in the hospital and is now undergoing x-rays and other necessary scans. Officials say there was an arrest made in the case of the stolen vehicle from this morning.
One of the deputies involved in the pursuit became involved in a traffic collision here at the intersection of Elevado and Seneca. Unfortunately, that deputy was critically wounded and succumbed to his injuries here at the scene this afternoon. We do know there was one other vehicle involved, a single female occupant in that vehicle. She was the driver. She did sustain some injuries, and she was transported to a local hospital.
The investigation here is only beginning. Still a lot of questions. The deputy or the sheriff's department has not released the deputy's name. They're still notifying next of kin. We'll be bringing you updates as we get them. As for now, this area will remain closed as an active scene as the investigation continues for the next 12 to 16 hours. Live in Victorville, Ashley Mackey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Let's get right to that.
Man, rest in peace and prayers go out to the family. Over a stolen vehicle? I think that's what kind of blew my mind more than anything, that a person had to lose their life over a stolen vehicle. That part sucks. Him losing his life sucks. and man, over a stolen vehicle. Prayers to the family, bro.
Breaking news, a tragic crash in the Inland Empire claims the life of a San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy. The latest tonight as we learn more about the violent crash. Hello, and thank you for joining us as we stream live. I'm Colleen Sullivan.
And I'm David Ono. This is Eyewitness News at 6:30. The deadly crash happened this morning in Victorville after the deputy slammed his patrol car into a pole.
And tonight we're learning the identity of that fallen deputy. He has been identified as Hector Cuevas Jr. Investigators say he was chasing someone in a stolen car when he crashed. It happened near the intersection of El Evado and Seneca. Deputies say the area will likely be closed through the night as they continue their investigation. Sheriff Shannon Dykes shared more about Deputy Cuevas just a short time ago.
Hector was a 6-year veteran of law enforcement and was assigned to the Victorville station for the past 3 years. He leaves behind a wife, 2 children, his parents, and his sister and a brother. We currently do not know the exact circumstances surrounding the collision as of yet. Our major accident investigation team, or MATE team.
I mean, he had to hit that thing at a high rate of speed. I mean, he just, whoa. It looked like that thing is just disintegrated on impact. Jeez, bro. And it just keeps stolen vehicle. I think they said they arrested the dude. They probably gonna charge him with this what would it be considered? A homicide, murder, manslaughter? What would it be considered? Because I'm pretty sure they're gonna charge that person in that stolen vehicle with that deputy losing his life.
Is in the process of conducting that investigation. Hector was described as a devout family man, and by his law enforcement partners, a cop's cop who has the ability to go between dealing with the most hardcore gang member to turning around and being able to talk to a child and make sure they felt safe and knew that they were protected.
The sheriff also added the suspect who was the deputy was chasing is now in custody, and they expect to be charged with vehicle manslaughter, among other counts. We'll have more on this heartbreaking story ahead in the next half hour.
The latest medical update on Pope Francis says he's continuing to show slight improvement in his month-long bout with double pneumonia. The Vatican released its first photo of the pontiff since his hospitalization, taken in a private chapel at Rome's Gemelli Hospital. The update said Francis is now able to spend short moments breathing on his own without supplementary oxygen. The latest medical
Finally, some good news. And you actually got to see him in a photo. Like, they've been keeping it on the hush, so I didn't know what to expect. And then hearing other people talk like they was preparing for him to go. I was like, dang, y'all don't even give the man a chance. Glad to hear some good news. Hey, Butch and Sonny, y'all started kind of looking like in that picture. You know what I mean? I know that was a picture before they left. I'm just saying that was the long 9 months. I keep saying it. If she pop up pregnant, ooh, would that be like the first space baby? Would that conceived in space? Would that be? Look at me trying to already create some type of. I don't need to create no drama surrounding these astronauts, bro. But that would be dope to have a baby conceived in space.
Are students today still dealing with the effects from COVID school closures? It's been 5 years since lockdown, and according to the Education Policy Institute, the poorest pupils are now 19 months behind their classmates by the time they're 16 years old.
And they're missing more school.
Natalie Pereira from the EPI has said it's the first time a very clear link has been made between how much children from the lowest income families go to school and how far behind other pupils they've fallen. Her team looked at pupils who received free school meals in the last 6 years. That means the family income is less than £7,400 a year, after tax and with no benefits. They're looking into why these pupils struggled, possibly because of poor housing and mental health. Before COVID, about 8% of primary school children would have missed at least 1 in 10 days of school in the school year. But the latest stats say this has gone up to 15%. Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson told the BBC the lockdowns have cast a long shadow over the life chances of the youngest children. Was your school closed during COVID? Are students today still dealing with the effects?
There's so much like they're dealing with or having to recover from that took place from 2020. Like, do y'all remember that? Graduations, being out in the street and you having to drive through and people, you know what I mean, receive their diploma that way. Remember that? The kids that didn't get a graduation. Like, I don't think y'all remember what all we went through. Think back to that time.